بسم الله الذي هدينا ولو عبدنا غيره سفينا وحبط رب حبتنا. اللهم صل على محمد كل ما ذكر الذاكرون وصل على محمد كل ما غفل عن ذكر الغافلين. قال ربي عز وجل إن الدين عند الله الإسلام. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من سمع بي من أمتي أو يهودي أو نصراني فلم يؤمن بي لم يدخل الجنة. رواه أحمد. Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib, the brother of the father of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We love and respect him for at least two reasons. One is being the uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course, over and above that, being a Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nevertheless, in Surah Hadid, Allah makes it clear that there is a wide difference between two categories of Sahaba. The early Sahaba on a much high level than those Sahaba who embraced Islam afterwards, such as Abbas radiallahu anhu. So despite his virtues, he is amongst the lower ranking of the Sahaba as the Surah Hadith. Naturally, nobody wants to be of a lower ranking compared to Bilal radiallahu anhu, the Khulafa, Suhaib radiallahu anhum. So Abbas presented this argument to them that so what if you are the early Muslims? So what if you were in Medina with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? We Quraysh, we were in Makkah and we were looking after the Kaaba. You weren't doing that. The Hujjaj came and we were looking after the Hujjaj and giving them water to drink. You weren't doing that. So we've also got our virtue. Allah did not agree with it. And Allah revealed, أَجَعَلْتُمْ سِقَايَةَ الْحَاجِ وَإِمَارَةَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ كَمَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَجَاهَدَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لَا يَسْتَوُونَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Do you, Abbas, but obviously for all of us, do you make that you were looking after the Kaaba and looking after the Hujjaj? Do you think that is equal to believing in Allah and in the day of Qiyamah and striving in the path of Allah for the spreading of the deen? No, you are not equal to those early Sahaba who believed in Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam before. What is of relevance to us is this distinction Allah makes. Not just between the two groups of Sahaba, which is in Surah Hadith, but here in Surah Tawbah, Allah makes a clear distinction of the importance of Imaan, correct beliefs, over deeds. And it is very unfortunate that here in South Africa, we do not have this correct understanding. And this leads to so much problems, and especially in times now when our Iman is under attack. We need to understand this concept very urgently. We should have understood it 50 years ago, but time is running out. So, one thing is this good deed, looking after the Kaaba. Is there a greater deed than that? But Allah makes it clear that believing in Allah is more important than looking after the Kaaba. And whatever good deeds you did, looking after the Kaaba, looking after the Hujjaj, whatever good deeds you did, your charities, whatever, without Iman, this is completely useless. Put it in simple worldly terms, it's like I don't have an account at a particular bank and I want to deposit money. So if you don't have an account, you first have to open an account then we can accept the deposit. So whatever good deeds we do, it is not worth anything if we do not believe in Allah, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the basics of our Iman. We in South Africa, and unfortunately the ulama need their responsibility for this, emphasizing on fiqh, how to make wudu, which is in its place. Obviously, these are teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But no attention is given, as I've explained, to what is more important than that, of what is it that we're supposed to believe in. What is our Aqeedah? And in so many ways, our Iman is being eroded away because we do not know what is Aqeedah, and things are happening around us to destroy our deen collectively and as individuals. And if we do not know what we're supposed to believe in, how do we defend what we're supposed to believe in? Simple things. You're not supposed to be, you don't have to be an alim of Aqeedah and know every nitty-gritty that we have to study. But what the basic is, believe in Allah. Allah is one. Allah has no partner. That Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the final Nabi. Such basics, which shouldn't even have to be said in the Masjid Bayan, is things which can become questionable these days with certain movements. To believe in the kitabs of Allah, to believe in the angels. You do not have to know all the details of angels, how many kinds of angels, what do they do. These details is not obligatory upon you. But when the Quran explicitly states that La ya'soon Allah, that angels do not disobey Allah in the least, you cannot dispute that. Whereas, if you are aware of things, it is now popular in certain movies to present the Christian idea of fallen angels. That these angels disobeyed Allah and became devils. Not just that, but to portray Iblis, Shaitan, the devil, Lucifer, as the good guy in the movie. This is what the Ummah is watching and slowly being influenced. And at the back of the mind, are you subconsciously believing what the Quran says, or is it infecting you and you can actually believe that an angel can make a sin or not? And this is nothing small. If you are worried that I did this thing wrong and my salah is batil, more important than your salah not being accepted is that your iman is not being accepted, because you are believing in something that explicitly the Quran says the opposite. Your iman is in danger because you have not taken the effort to guard your iman and to study and do what is it that I as a Muslim should believe, how I should believe. Another distinction between deeds and Iman and Aqeedah, which we are very lax on understanding. One is to do a good deed versus accepting the command of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or making a mockery of the command of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's say Ramadan has come and somebody has not fasted one single day, but he understands he's a sinner and he asks Allah for forgiveness and he makes intention that he will make his qada. That person is a sinner, but he is still a Muslim. He did not fulfill the command of Allah, but he accepted the command of Allah. His iman is still intact, he is still a Muslim brother. Versus somebody who fasted a full 30 days, he never missed a single fast in his life, and he even does sunnah and nafil fasts. But he says, what nonsense is this? Why does Allah want to keep me hungry? This is not necessary. Not necessary to be a Muslim, to fast and still be a Muslim. Directly challenging the command of Allah. That person has become a murtad and a apostate. That person, despite fasting, is not a Muslim. Challenging Allah and what Allah has clearly commanded, making jokes out of the commands of Allah, or deely matters. That politician died, and that he goes in front of Allah and he says this to Allah, and making a joke out of Qiyamah, making a joke out of Allah, making a joke out of Malikul Maut, making a joke out of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are things which at the very least damages your Iman, and depending on your wording, can make you a Muslim. You can be making your 5 times salah in the front of every day. You can be having the longest beard and be regarded as the most holy person in the community. But the day you are resurrected, Allah might not accept you as being a mu'min because you have directly challenged Allah and you have made istihza, you have made a mockery out of Allah. I have several things. Actually, in reality, I need 3 Jumu'ahs to come to what I need to say. So I'm going to be very brief, and you'll have to pardon me for not being as clear and full in explanation of everything that needs to be said. But this is the opening part that we need to understand the importance of our Aqeedah, which we are neglecting, over our deeds, but as a means of protecting our deeds. Our deeds we are going to be questioned about. I'm not downgrading deeds in any way. What is now another means of attacking our deen these days is now what is called the Interfaith movement. We have a misunderstanding that interfaith means being good with the Christians and the Jews, which is a command of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to be good with our Christian and Jewish neighbors. I myself, I'm invited in 5FM Jewish radio when these things explained on Islam, and I explain to them that I never compromise. This is what our deen says, and Islam is the only way. I've never compromised on that. Interfaith that tells us that it doesn't matter if you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew or a Hindu, all our ways unto God, it doesn't matter. This is directly in contradiction to the Quran. Inna Deena inda Allahi al-Islam. There is no deen except Islam in the way of Allah. Allah further says elsewhere, and he who seeks any other way besides Islam, it will never be accepted from him. Explicitly, you don't have to make a tafsir out of it and judge that I'm using this word and using that word and then you get meaning the juice from it. Allah says it clearly. Did you not learn Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun when you were children? Did you not learn the meaning of that? Do I have to translate Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun? I will not do that. Do that for your homework. The interfaith movement is gaining wide precedence. Maybe not so much here in South Africa now, but when the world catches a flu, eventually we're going to sneeze. This is a kufr belief. To believe that anybody can attain Jannah whilst rejecting Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a kufr belief. And even if you are a full Muslim, with your 5 times salah, and you reject what Allah has said in the Quran, I know better than Allah. With your 5 times salah, you are no longer Muslim, you are Muslim. How would you like that you worked all your life earning something physical, and one day everything is burnt away and you lost everything? How much more worse that you do so much good deeds? Salah, fasting, Hajj, Tabligh, Anqa, Zikrullah, whatever it is. On the day we are resurrected, Allah does not recognize you as a Muslim because your beliefs was that of a Murtad. We need to be safeguarding ourselves, and this interfaith movement in so many ways is gaining ground. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a hadith that seems specifically for today, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man sami'a bi min ummati aw Yahudi aw Nasrani falam yu'min bi lam yadkhul al-jannah. Whoever has heard about me, be of this ummah, in other words, someone who calls himself a Muslim, or Nasrani, or Yahudi, or a Jew, or a Christian, but he does not believe in me, he will never ever enter Jannah. And today, because of the interfaith influence on us, Hollywood, whatever it is, having greater influence on our minds than the Quran and Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you have people arguing, no, this politician was such a good man. How can you say he's not going to Jannah? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said he's not going to Jannah. Allah said his way is not accepted to Allah. And now you're making as if we are being hard. And you're challenging the words of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Never mind that politician. Worry about yourself. Whether he died as a kafir or not. But you challenging Allah, that puts your own iman at stake. I'm not here to be a pop star movie and just say, hey, what a word bayan. No, if you are offended that I've mentioned the word of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it is not my problem. You have an issue with Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And these people are so devious. Someone sent me a video on YouTube. It's also now one of these things that something is on YouTube. It has greater precedence than what is in our kitab. Also, there must be this background humming. Inshallah, whoever speaks next week, and then inshallah you respect in the background, like in the videos, then it has greater authenticity. And if I say this stuff from the Quran, that's more authentic than what the hadith is. So in any case, one of the this guy says that Imam Ibn Kathir has said that we ulama of Aqeedah, we do not say that someone who has died without Iman will not enter Jannah. So why is Muslim saying this today? As if there's no ulama who can check what Ibn Kathir says. And I check what Ibn Kathir says. He explicitly says that I'm speaking about the children of kafir. That in regard to children of kafir, we are not sure, it's not exactly clear in the hadith, that are they in Jannah, or what is their fate. So in regard to children of hadith, children of kafir, I'm keeping quiet. That is what Imam Ibn Kathir says. And then this guy on YouTube, he goes and he says, and he takes a name, Paul Walker. He says, now you cannot say Paul Walker is in hell because Ibn Kathir says this. Such deception of these people, and these are things the shayateen are eroding our iman. What he should also be now full bayan, but now running out of time. I said at least 3 bayan Jumu'ahs, 2 hours, really a workshop to speak all that I need to speak. Is now where the interfaith movement has now gone to the next stage, where we call it the Abrahamic Accords. Treaty signed between Israel and the Emirates. Aligned with them is also the devils of Saudi, where they have formalized this belief that never mind that we will recognize Israel as a political state, but you as Jews and Christians, we have no problem. You can also go to Jannah. You do not have to become a Muslim. That's fine. We believe what we want to, and you believe what you want to. We will all go to Jannah. All of these are ways. We do not believe in, I have to believe in Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He's just for us to justify. So, never mind not believing in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to claim that you believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, but to challenge him when he has explicitly said that he rejects my message, will never enter Jannah. But you go and tell, for political reasons, you tell the Jews, it's fine, you don't have to accept Islam, it's fine. You'll go to Jannah. You've lost your Iman. What they are doing, are you aware what these devils in Saudi are doing? In the textbooks that they teach the children about the seerah, the biography of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that has been removed. And you know what they got instead? Never mind Jewish stories, they got the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, Hindu stories of the idols, what they're teaching the children. Pick it up yourself. You don't have to believe me. In this time, you can't take word of anybody. Do not take my word. Do your own homework and see what I'm saying is true. Please do your homework. This is happening in the land of Makkah and Medina. What the Abrahamic Accords, it's going to be practical also of printing books, a Quran and a Bible in one book, because they are equal. When in our Quran we have that Sulaiman alayhi salam, for example, is a clean Nabi, وَمَا كَفَرَ, he never had kufr. And the next part of that book says that Sulaiman alayhi salam worshipped idols. How? You have to be a great alim, you have to get Ibn Kathir and Ghazali to understand how insulting this is to accept that Quran and print it. But in that Quran says that Lut alayhi salam is a clean and accepted Nabi of Allah, and that forged Bible is obviously not the word of Allah anymore, but the forged Bible of today says that Lut alayhi salam had sex with his own daughter. Because that filth was the Quran. Does that not touch your heart? How much Aqeedah do we need to understand the danger that Islam is in? That you have a building together because you are now all equal. Anyway, is fine to God that in except one united building that you can have a masjid, a synagogue, and a church. That here where we worship Allah, and there in the same building, Jesus is Son of God. And that Quran that we read says that this word, Jesus, Son of God, is enough to bring down the skies and the mountains. This is the beginning of a process, and each of us needs to guard our Iman. I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm not saying the Dajjal is coming tomorrow, but what I can say with absolute conviction is that the preparation for the Dajjal is we are living through it. And if you wish to live as a Muslim and be resurrected as a Muslim on the day of Qiyamah, not today, but 20 years ago, you should have started preparing, doing good deeds, protect your Iman, and what I started with at the beginning, know what you're supposed to believe in. You don't know what's your Aqeedah, how are you going to protect your Iman? May Allah accept. I'm out of time. I know I have not touched on this properly as I have, but each of you bears the responsibility for your own Iman. On the day of Qiyamah, I'm not to be holding your hand. It's your duty to protect your Iman, and your duty to seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave.